I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan your own hands can land.
Man, feeling well, man.
What's your name?
My name is Cardi Cornish.
And you a legend?
I'm a legend.
You're a legend here in Baltimore City. Where we at right now?
We live in the 17, Pennsylvania Avenue. The legendary Pennsylvania Avenue.
Man, the last time I saw you here, you were doing something just across the street here. What were you doing?
Oh, yeah, I had some food left over from an event. We brung it out. We fed a couple of people, man.
Why you do that?
Nice soul food. Huh?
Why you do that?
Man, the love that God has shown me in Christ, man, it overflows. That's how it overflows.
Yes, sir.
We got more than we can.
Already was high within San Antonio, Winchester community, but the age group is getting younger. Children under the age of 18 being murdered in San Antonio has a high peak right now. So our goal is to catch the children. Damn.
You going hard, man. You going hard on that man today.
So what do you think, Mr. Mayor? You got manufacturing right here, helping our young people despite all of the challenges in the city of Baltimore, right here on North Avenue.
No, it's really about the growth. Just knowing being there when they were down in Fort Covington and seeing how far it's grown. Like you said earlier, like getting the Sorbet, where we got the Sorbet at the beginning, but now being able to, when I'm at Camden Yards, get it, or anytime I'm down at Harbor Place to get it, and folks to not even know, but they gonna know now that like this is coming from young people in West Baltimore, right there in West Baltimore on North Avenue, where they think nothing great comes from, but they can see it with the young people.
If you work for it, it's only worth it if you work for it.
Here on the Miami, Mississippi, down right there in French Fork, beautiful town, just leaving Algiers, which is an update 10 years since Katrina. The news before. All right, y'all, this is what I came to New York for. Besides the Black Wall Street Awards, we're going in here and get some of this real good jerk chicken. Johnny Glover, out.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me.
But we need to feed our loved ones. DOCS needs to rescind this package policy program so that our loved ones are able to eat every day in that filthy facility.
We have some stars in the building.
I feel like no one takes it.
I always like that piece about Hugh Smith. Good morning. Top of the day to you. First name's Doni, last name's Glover. In it to win it for the long haul, baby. Listen, Baltimore City, the home of segregation, going back to 1910, an ordinance by Baltimore Mayor at the time, J. Barry Mahul. And then came the Civil Rights Movement, where blacks couldn't live above North Avenue or west of Fulton Avenue. The past 60 years, we've seen an exodus, an emigration, a migration of black people from West Baltimore, West Side, all the way to Northwest Baltimore County, including Woodlawn, Randallstown, and Owens Mills, and Reisterstown for that matter. And if you ask me, no, you didn't ask, but since we're posing that, the wealth, the taxes, the money that black people pay to live from Woodlawn to Pikesville, Owens Mills, that's a lot of money. it sustains, I would argue, Baltimore County. And if that money sustains the county or helps keep the county in a good fiscal position, then those black people out that way should be rewarded. They certainly should not be penalized. So without further ado, we're going to talk with our guest today. We have Danny Blount with us. Good morning, Danny.
Hey, good morning, Donnie. Thanks for the invite.
Good. We also have Danita Tolson, who is joining us. Good morning, Danita. How are you?
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning.
Welcome to the show. Danita, have you been on this show yet?
I have a couple of times.
Oh, you're a returning guest. You're so fancy.
Yes,
Danita,
I've come a few times. You've invited me.
What's up with all of them black people out of Baltimore County, Danita?
Please clarify that, because we're trying to stand up for what we believe in. We're just trying to get our political leaders to listen to us. It's not like we're not standing up. This has been out here for years, and we've tried to get people to listen. Linda Dorsey-Walker has been having a petition for years, and we had political figures that we sat down at the table multiple times to dissect, explain what this process was, what it meant, and how it would affect the community. And until now, I think some of those political figures are just starting to understand.
Yeah.
Because not only is it going to affect us, it's going to affect them. We just want them to be bold enough to speak up for our people and our community and educate them. They could have held off on the vote.
Okay. Linda, can you give us the who, what, when, where, why on this?
Well, can you hear me at this point? Yes?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, great. Yes, well, I'm Linda Dorsey-Walker, and I'm the chairperson of Vote for More. And the reason I started this initiative about 3 years ago, we really been in existence as a ballot issue committee since March 3rd of 2022, is because I saw our county growing. We had opportunities to adjust, as Prince George's County did 8 years ago when they added 4 more districts, as Montgomery County did 4 years ago when they added 4 more districts. And we had gotten recommendations in the past, whether everyone knew about them or not. Back in 1978, the county's Charter Review Committee recommended that by this year, we would need 11 districts. So this is basically fulfilling what was needed. And I had previously gone before the Baltimore County Council way back in 2001. I went along with the League of Women Voters, and we said, based on the population at that time, which was much smaller than it is now, we have a population about 855,000 now. We made a case for adding 2 more districts 23 years ago. That's before the huge insurgence of new Americans into Baltimore County and many other groups that moved into Baltimore County in larger numbers, including the continual growth of African-American population coming into the county. So how can you say 23 years later that the solution is the same as what was needed 23 years ago? It's not. And so, as you probably are aware, we started the process, started the formal process of becoming a ballot issue committee, and formed the steering committee. And there were so many naysayers. It'll never happen. They'll never get 10,000 signatures because this is too nuanced an issue. You know, this isn't, do you want to have your taxes reduced? The answer from everyone's going to be yes. This is something that you really have to spend about 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes per person to just get them to give you their one signature.
Now again, Linda, the argument that you're making is that the number of African Americans in Baltimore County has increased. Therefore, the representation for those people should also increase.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'd like to share with
especially
you,
given the fiscal contribution of all of them black people from Woodlawn to Pikesville.
absolutely. I'm going to give you some real numbers, and this is what people need to wrap their heads around. I'm going to just, everyone knows we've been out there. We've collected 10,000 signatures. We turned in 10,000 plus signatures on Monday. The fact that they haven't written to us yet from the Board of Elections says they must have agreed that it was over 10,000. So now I guess they're going to move on to step number 2.
Okay, I need you to slow down for a second. Monday was the deadline, or Monday is the day that your committee turned in 10,000 plus signatures for what purpose?
Okay, our legal deadline for the state of Maryland for all charter amendments, no matter what jurisdiction you're in, is July 29th. We made a deliberate decision to turn ours in at least 3 weeks in advance, because in the event that there are any declines, that they're going to have any names they're going to decline because the person moved or because the person was really never a Baltimore County resident, that would give us 3 more weeks to gather additional signatures, which they have agreed that on the 29th, Monday the 29th, the day of the legal deadline, if they say to us, I'm sorry, you thought you had 10,000, but when we actually started eliminating names, you owe us 600 more names. I want to be able to say these are 600 names. So,
okay. And these signatures all want more representation for the people in your part of the county.
Not just our part of the county, all over the county. Please understand this. All ballot issue questions like this are nonpartisan. So we collected signatures from independents, from Republicans, from Democrats. So that's why I take great issue with one of the county council members who said this was from the start and to the finish, all political to increase the power of Democrats. No, this is a nonpartisan issue, and it is to reflect the growth in every segment of the county. So now, let me just say that because we are 53% female, and we are right now the only jurisdiction in the whole state of Maryland without a single woman representing Baltimore County at the local level, because we are now half and half minority, yet we only have 1 African American, because we have a huge infusion for the first time of young people, because Baltimore County had a reputation being a pretty senior county. We have not 1 young person under the age of 40 on our county council. We now have people from the LGBT community, disabled community, new American communities who have really poured into Baltimore County. And all 6 of those groups have said, where's my seat at the table? We don't have extra seats. We didn't do what Montgomery and Prince George's County did. We didn't follow the 1978 recommendation. So this is not a brand new harebrained idea. This is doing something that was recommended 46 years ago, because they said this is where we'd be. But I want to give you a real idea before we go any further of the difference between what the bill is that Councilman Patoka has recommended and what we were recommending. I say that because I had a very early conversation this morning from someone who was saying that they were in favor of whatever could pass. And I'm trying to get African Americans to understand that option of 2 versus 4 are not equal. Not only is it that we would have
slow down. 2 what versus 4 what?
All right. So after we've been around for 2.5 years, and after a study group met for 4 months, they turned over a report. This was the county council study structure group. They turned over a report on March 31st saying, we're recommending the following. First of all, a plurality of the 11 members said they were in favor of having 11 districts. That was a plurality of the members.
11 districts versus what, Linda?
Versus 9. There was 1 council member that insisted on having 0 change and still insists on having 0 change. That's really unfortunate because that person is a Democrat.
So let's since you're not going to call names, you got 1 black council person out there. That's Julian Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Was he against increased representation?
He was against increasing by anything.
What?
Absolutely.
And I will say, we met with him multiple times to explain
3 times
as a community, the Baltimore County NAACP, Linda, I mean, multiple community powerful leaders to explain. He stood firm and strong. I'm not changing. I'm not changing.
Why?
What I believe.
I'm about to call him right now. Why?
Please. It would be interesting.
Why wouldn't he want an increase?
Well, he does now. His views all of a sudden seems to have changed.
Since when?
Since now they're making changes.
See, I tried to explain that in this situation, you can either come out the hero or the zero. And that if you decide to take this position of no change is needed, one of the people who you might potentially run against down the road as for the county executive position is going to realize, wait a minute, here's my chance to grab up a piece of history. I'm going to grab it for me.
So you are talking about Izzy Patoka, because everybody's talking about Julian Jones versus Izzy Patoka for the next county exec. So
versus one other person, Pat Young.
Oh, this is about to get real interesting.
Oh yes. Oh yes, because Pat Young also saw at that same hearing last Monday.
He saw that he better get on board with all you black people out there, or else he gonna get left in the dust.
And he made a very tearful speech.
Yes,
I mean, the people in the audience were crying. The people in the audience were crying. He said he basically had a come to Jesus moment with his family. They came up to him and said, "What are you doing? Why can't you get behind Vote for More? Why are you trying to stop the 11 districts? Don't you realize that all these different groups that have the same right to be elected just like you do?" At least this is what he told everyone. And he was tearful about it. And he said, "I'm going to introduce an amendment." He read his amendment. He said, "I know it probably won't pass," and it didn't. They all voted against it. Then he said, "Well, I'm going to introduce another amendment to get rid of the map that you've got, because the map you've got is ridiculously unfair." And they voted against that. So he knew going in that he would come out the only person taking that position, and he would look like he was the loser. But guess what? People stood up and applauded because he looked like the winner in that moment by being the one that said, "I'm willing to do the right thing." The unfortunate and sad part for me, because I always considered Julian a friend, was that he wasn't present for any of it. I know he said there were some other situations that prevented him from being present, but a lot of people were very hurt by that most important change in 70 years in Baltimore County, and he wasn't present to even say anything.
In 70 years, you say? 70 years?
All this change to a councilmanic form of government for the first time took place in 1955. It was enacted January 1st of 1956, but they designed it in 1955. We had a population of 350,000. They divided Baltimore County into 7 districts of 50,000 each. So to give you some perspective, while we started off with 50,000 people per district, which they considered a good number per council member, we are currently, because we never changed, we're currently at 123,000 constituents per council member, the largest number in the United States. Look at this. Harford County has 60.
Hold up, Linda. Hold that thought. Danny, I see you seething over there.
I'm about to boil over here. But you know, we have all been together. I mean, this is the group here: Bishop, Dr. Tosin, Linda, myself, George, and Daniel Smith.
Yes.
3 years ago or more, we brought this to our councilman.
Mm-hmm.
We had vision.
Yeah.
This was going to happen. So we wanted to give him an upfront advantage to make history. So with that being said, the only other thing that came in between that window was that I think it was in 2002 when there was a lawsuit after the census that they saw that we were a minority district, and we had pushed to have our district represented by folks that look like us. That was called Ken Oliver. Ken Oliver became the first African-American councilman in District 4 after a lawsuit, Donnie, a lawsuit. Kevin Cabinets went over to Pikesville. Ken Oliver became our councilman. After that, nothing else happened. And census records show that we were increasing ever since then. That's 20-something years ago that Ken Oliver was the councilman. So, we've gotten bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So now when we start to see these things happening, and what happened in 1978 that didn't make it happen, when you have power, you have to use it. You got to use it, or you're going to lose it. So in this instance right here, Donnie, as we all know, we've all been part of it. We were hoping for a different type of outcome with this. Help with us getting signatures, even them doing it themselves. They could have did it themselves. They could have changed the charter themselves.
Or letting the law be changed in Annapolis instead of blocking it for 3 years in a row. The law that the disability community begged us, please have it changed so that we have the right for the first time to sign petitions.
Let me finish this statement. Let me finish this one last statement, Donnie. Izzy Pataki understood that the momentum was growing so large with this vote for 4 more, as you see the wonderful shirt I have on, that he says, I got to get on board. I have to get on board because Linda was doing interviews with the TV station. This thing was just blowing up because it was common sense. 1957, 2024. 300,000, almost 900,000. You can't even run a business without hiring more people. But my last point right at this moment is that what Izzy Pataki did, he sold out the Democratic Party to the Republicans to get the supermajority.
Terrible.
He sold out the Democratic Party, Donnie.
Terrible what's happening.
He sold us out.
How did he sell you out?
He gave, because what he did, he redrew the map so that the Republicans can get additional seats on the council.
In other words, right now, there's a 2-to-1 registration of Democrats to Republicans in Baltimore County. So therefore, if moving forward, you're going to enlarge, why would you, before the courts or a redistricting committee is formed or anything, why would you draw your own map promising them that you're going to give them half of everything? It's not your role to do that. You're not supposed as a legislator draw your own map.
Hold up. On one hand, you're saying Julian didn't help the black people in Northwest Baltimore County. And now you're saying his number one rival didn't support the black people in the
party itself.
Now you have to hear the real numbers. All right. So under the proposed map,
Linda, you ain't taking over this show. That you gonna slow
No.
down.
This is the most important part of all.
You said
right now, Baltimore County in Randallstown, the district that Julian Jones represents, is 72% African American. Under the proposed map, that would drop to 54%. Okay, and so that's a huge drop. The proposed new district that he's recommending would start off at only 52%. That means that any other organized minority group could easily come in and overcome 52%. That doesn't take, if they're 47% and you're 52%, it'd be very easy to not have a African American elected in either one of those districts. That would mean for the first time since the year 2000, we wouldn't have even one African American elected. Now, remember Danny was saying there was a restructuring committee that was formed. It met for 4 months. On the restructuring committee was Keith Dorsey, who is my brother, used to be the budget and finance director for Baltimore County until his retirement 3 years ago. They said, can you, because you have access to all these statistics about Baltimore County, can you, without drawing the map, give us an idea of what would happen if we went to 11 districts? Here's what would happen. Randallstown district that Julian represents is 72.59%. It would actually go up to 77.63% African American, and the minority population would go up to 89%, not drop down to 54%. It would go up. Okay, Woodlawn is now mixed in with 2 other districts. Woodlawn would have a 66.59% Black population, and its total minority population would be 87%. Catonsville, down where Pat Young is now 14.5%. It would have 38.5%. Pikesville would go from 33% to 51%, a majority of minorities. Okay. Green Spring would have 19% African Americans. Towson would be 17%.
Linda.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Danita, what does all of this mean?
They are dividing our votes, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Dividing our votes so they can conquer.
Dilution.
Yeah. They're watering down our votes.
Our power.
And who is they?
Board. Well, we all know who they are. Let's not get it twisted. We all know.
And some of the they are Black.
Well, we counted on Julian. I received several calls right before the vote.
I can't believe he wouldn't support something that saves his own back.
Well, I think he started to understand closer to the end because he was putting out phone calls and stuff. But I told him, I said, Julian, you had the opportunity to help at the beginning of this fight. And he did not. All of this probably could have been deleted or watered down. We didn't have to go through all this process.
Yeah.
But he prolonged it for whatever reason. He thought he was going to gain, something. But he see that he's not gaining anything. In fact, he's losing.
Yeah. Initially, he said, I don't understand why you all are forming this group, this powerful group to try to do this. Instead, you should be trying to get me elected the first African-American county executive. What I said to him is, even if you become county executive, you'll still need other minorities to have your back on the county council. The county executive gets nothing done unless he has support of county council members. So you need to grow the system that allows people. So under Izzy's proposal, there will be 2 predominantly Black districts, if you want to call 52% predominantly Black. Under Vote for More, there will be 5 predominantly minority, not African Americans, but 5 predominantly minority districts. At least 2 to 3 of them would be African Americans. And I didn't see why anyone would be against that, because those are the real numbers. Those aren't made up numbers. And all this was shared with him and everyone else. And they decided the vote was 3 Republicans and 2 Democrats. So the majority of people that jumped up and down at the end of the vote last Monday were Republicans.
They going around high-fiving each other, Doni.
They were high-fiving each other. And even Delegate Michelle Guyton came on the other night and said, I saw it. They were going all over her district saying, look what we did to the Democrats.
It was unbelievable, Doni. And here is the map. And these are new districts. This is the non-proposal. They did this behind closed doors, Doni. No
Explain
community.
what we're looking at.
We're looking at the new map. If they raise the council from 7 to 9, 2 new districts. This particular district right here, right there, that's all Republicans that they made. All Republicans. You will never, as a Democrat, become a council member in that district.
Where does Johnny Ocheski stand in all of this?
Johnny, at this point,
hold tight. For clarity, you said Julian sucks. You said Izzy sucks. And then, so what about Johnny O?
Johnny appointed my brother Keith to be on the structure committee to speak.
I don't know what that means. Is Johnny good or does Johnny suck?
Keith told him up front, if you can't back me speaking only for 4 more, don't appoint me. He said, because I'm only going to ask for 4 more.
So answer the question.
He said, I'm going to appoint you, so you go ahead and speak for 4 more.
Well, that's not what he asked. He asked him, how about Johnny?
Is Johnny for the people or not? Right.
Because Johnny's talking out of both sides of his
neck. Linda.
For the
record, I see what you're doing.
Johnny won by 17 votes. And he wants to go on to represent that part of the world over there in D.C. Is Johnny for you or not?
Johnny's packing his bags and he's leaving. At this particular point in time,
that's the same thing O'Malley did with the red line.
There you go.
The can down the road, and people want to blame Hogan. And I'm saying blame Hogan for something that he did. Don't blame him for something that O'Malley did not do.
Well, it's all about the fact that it's politics. Of course, now that everything has been structured.
When he won by 17 votes, that was numbers.
Well, no, we passed that. He already been reelected. He was reelected by a landslide.
Yeah.
So
and he's going to be elected by a landslide this time.
2018 is long gone, Donnie. In 2022, he won by a landslide.
That don't mean he got to win in November.
Oh no, that's nothing that's going to stop him from.
No, he's on his way to Capitol Hill. He's on his way to the Hill.
I do not give man that much credit. I serve an awesome God. Hey, listen, let me tell y'all both something.
I'm going to vote for him over the alternative.
Let me remind you both of something. Kevin Kamenetz was looking like he was on his way to something too.
But see,
I heard that, and I received that.
Yeah.
And that's all possible. So you don't have to say no more about that. That's a fact. And God is all wise, all living, and in charge. I agree with that.
This is what we as Black people need to become educated about. The person that called me 7-something in the morning said, wait a minute, I'm not in favor of 4 more or 2 more. I'm in favor of whatever can win. Because there are Black people naive enough to think that any increase is good enough. Let me give you an example.
So I want to know this, Linda. How have you guys gotten the word out? How have you gotten the word out?
Much of this just happened within this past week. So I have been talking about.
We live in a world of Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube.
We've been putting it out there. I know
it's out there. People on TikTok doing all.
It's out there, Donnie. It's on.
Hold tight. I want to know how our most upwardly mobile Black people in the greater Baltimore area are handling politics.
Okay, so let me tell you. The reason I had the conversation with the person earlier was because they're getting ready to give Izzy Patoka a full, hour-long platform to explain his bill. And I contacted that person to say, whoa, wait a minute. You said, in the write-up, we're going to be discussing what's best 2 versus 4. How are you going to discuss it by only letting the person that's promoting 2 come on, and you're not going to let the person that's the author of the 4 option come on? And I was told, no, it's just going to be an opportunity for him. My whole thing is,
Linda, I need you to say names. You're saying somebody who you talking about?
I'd rather not say, but let's just say
it's part of the problem.
It is another African American, but I want you to understand this.
Everybody your color ain't your kind, Linda.
No, I know.
You're ducking the question.
No, here's the more important issue. Here's the most important issue.
Linda. That's for us to. You can't determine that for me. Who is blocking you?
I'd rather not say.
Therein lies part of the problem because
I'd rather have people understand this.
If we don't have the courage of a Harriet Tubman to call a spade, then we shouldn't even be having
that spade already knows their spade.
If Harriet Tubman could do it during the time of slavery, I know damn well we can do it now.
He's right. He's right, Linda.
Exactly.
You're
Go
free to
hard.
do it. You know who
This
it is
time
too,
to
Danny.
go hard.
All of us in this cosmos.
And
Who
speak
is
up.
it, Danny?
Well, I can tell you this.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna tell no. I can tell you this. No, what she's talking about. Wait, hold it. Who she's talking about? She's talking about the chair of the. You're talking about who? Dr. Wood?
God.
No, the other person that's having the thing with their group.
Oh, Sharonda Hoffman. Is that who you're talking about, Linda?
All I know is I got a
Is
phone
that who you talking about, Linda?
7-something this morning, and my whole thing is this.
Slavery still going
on?
No. Let me just explain something.
You explained it.
No.
You wanted.
I didn't explain it because the argument that a lot of people made in a meeting this week is, and have been for the last week and a half, something is better than nothing. Something is not always better than nothing. For example, let's say
Linda. See, in a war, you need to know who's on your side.
Okay, so we already discussed that. We already put that on the table.
But let me. This person?
You already named the person, and I said yes. So all right.
Who did you talk to, Linda?
You already named the person.
Who did you talk to, Linda?
I already went there, and you don't want to hear
what
the facts.
What are you afraid of?
No, I just want you to because the more important is the facts, no matter who says it. There's a whole bunch of other people, not just that one person, that's been making this argument. And I want you to understand why the argument doesn't make any sense.
But
I keep hearing from person after person.
In order to move forward,
we
have to be clear to the community. We have to speak the truth. And we have to call out people.
Name names.
All right, but you just named the person's name, Danny.
You didn't acknowledge it.
Yes, I did. You were talking over me, so you didn't hear me acknowledge it.
I didn't hear
you got the floor.
I didn't hear it.
Who did you name, Danny?
Are you kidding me?
You didn't name him.
All right, I spoke with Sharonda Huffman this morning.
I
said it. But when you called the name, I said yes, that's the person.
But you already knew. You should have did it from the beginning, Linda.
No, but you're dwelling on the wrong thing, and that's what my problem is. It's not just her saying this; it's other people saying it. So there's no point in me. Lots of people, and that's why I have to make this point.
Are we making a case for these people or a case for our people?
Listen. Sometimes we gotta listen.
Sometimes we have to have the testicular fortitude to call a spade a spade.
But we already went
there. Is over.
But we already went there. So let me explain the reason why I didn't want to tie it down to one person. Because there are many people.
But that's not for you to always determine, Linda.
But I will say, if you name out people, it alerts the community. And maybe
but I already did that.
Maybe they're supporting these people. But once you name them out, it may change their opinion and detour and start supporting, our cause or another cause. But it's part of educating the community. If we don't educate them, you're not giving a full education.
But you haven't even let me say what was said. You won't even let me say what was said.
You did.
Linda,
I didn't say what was said.
Speaking, sometimes you have 30 seconds to make your point. When you go long and extended, we lose people.
Believe me, Linda, we have had your back.
You haven't let me make the point. No, let me make the point. Sometimes, and lots of people are saying it, not just her. That's why I don't want to stick it on one person. Sometimes people are saying having two is better than having none. You didn't get 4, so having 2 is better than none. Not if gaining the 2 takes away all your years of work and gain. And that's what I was trying to explain to her and others. Okay, we worked hard to get that one African-American position. I know because I was the first African American to run back in 1994 against Kevin Kamenetz, and I made it my point to study for 6 years and work to try to create that district. And even when Kevin Kamenetz and the NAACP were blocking each other, I said, I'm going to develop a third plan, and I'm going to go to the hearing and recommend a third plan. And Dex Ruppersberger said, because people don't hate your plan, Linda, that's the plan we're going to adopt. That plan stayed in place for 20 years. After 20 years, I said, please throw out that old plan. Please throw it out and adopt this new plan that will create 11 districts instead of 7. So some people would say, if I have a child with rickets, you tell the parent, child has rickets because you're only giving them a half a cup of milk a day. And then you know that what the doctor is saying, you need to give the child 2 cups of milk a day. And your neighbor comes to you and says, hey, I'm willing to give you 2 glasses or all you want of grape juice. Well, that's not going to stop your child from having rickets. In fact, giving your baby grape juice every day instead of milk will probably also lead the child not just to having rickets, but maybe even diabetes. So my whole point is sometimes a half a loaf isn't better than no loaf. Sometimes the half a loaf will set you back even further. And that's what's happening here. Izzy's proposal sets us back. It takes away the gain we made in 2000. And so all these Black people running around saying, what's wrong with you? A half a loaf is better than none. In this particular case, it's such a really terrible map. It'll undo all of the work we did for the last 25 years. That's what I was trying to say. And it's not just her that feels that way. A ton of people have said that to me.
How do you feel,
the last
Linda?
2 weeks.
How do you feel?
I feel that we should be the parent that waits another week for the cow to show up so that you can give your child the right amount of milk. That's what I'm saying.
And when is that?
When is that? Week? July 29th, when we finish passing in all of the names.
Danny, do you agree with that?
Well, this is what I agree with is, yes, you have to wait until they count all the petition signatures. But this is the key, Linda. All of that's going to come to a head in the November election.
Yes, and then we have to work to get it passed.
Hold tight. Danita, do you agree with this? Wait another week till July 29th? Oh, that's actually a couple of weeks.
Yeah, they're declaring it dead now.
Hold tight, Linda.
I'm not sure about waiting a couple of weeks. I don't know what that means. Because waiting means, are we still getting out? Are we still trying to educate our community?
Yes.
Are we trying to still get more petitions? Are we still trying to do more shows? You know, just do.
You know that I sent out multiple emails yesterday.
Linda, let us speak, please.
And talk to the political figures to have some kind of influence on them, to be bold enough to speak out. You know, because if they do this speaks volumes for the community, and we will support them in the election. So that's why I'm saying, what does that mean about waiting to the 29th?
Well, you know, let me just shift gears for a second. There was an incident over the July 4th weekend where a young Black man, and I'm asking you because I only know 2 people that live in Carroll County, but up in Tarneytown, this young man, Davon Dabbs, he was driving in a car. Carroll County's right next to Baltimore County. You guys know the story probably better than anyone. He's riding, and all of a sudden he's told by a young white man, he's approached by a young white man, road rage incident, get off the road, we don't want you ends out here, you don't belong out here. His sister or another white female with a gun shows up, and at the end of the day, this white male who started all of this stuff, the young Black man called 911, young white man gets killed, and the young Black man is charged with first-degree murder. No mention of the young white woman that comes to the incident with a car. Danny, what does this mean for Blacks in that neck of the woods? Are we standing up for him? Is he left out there? I mean, he waived his right to bail. Well, what are your thoughts?
Man, it's horrific. You know, the fact of the matter, everyone knows the reputation of Carroll County.
They don't like Black people out there.
They're the home of the Ku Klux Klan. Okay, and everyone knows that, and it's just something that we got to support this brother. We have to do anything that we can to support him and to help him in this situation, because this is it's not. Some would say it's an isolated incident, but it's not. I mean, these things have happened throughout the country, but here in Maryland, in Eldersburg, for this to happen, we have to really give some support to this young man.
Danita, it's a throwback to Get Out. It's a throwback to a movie that talked about the young black man. He sang with the young white girl. Takes me back to Tulsa, Oklahoma, that ultimately destroyed 36 square blocks. And the story that we've heard repeatedly. Any thoughts from, the social, the NAACP perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, they're not putting all the facts out on the news. We didn't get all those facts. So I'm sure if the community knew all of those facts, it may start more of an uproar. And of course, they don't want that. So some of the facts is not being put out. Of course, yes, it does take us back to lynching, to even more recently about the case with the police where they pepper sprayed. One of the officers closed him up in the vehicle, and the kid told him, I can't breathe. He was kicking the door. Please let me out. They opened him up and stuff. He fell out, and they put him back in a hot car. This is September. Stuff like that doesn't make sense. Yes, he did something that was wrong previously, but it was inhumane, unconstitutional, just like what is going on with the council, the county council, unconstitutional.
Danita, what about that black lady who got hip tossed? Did she ever sue and get paid like an incredible amount of money? That white cop would never have hip tossed his mother.
Right.
He hip tossed that black woman like she was a wrestler or professional wrestler or something. Whatever happened to that?
I can't say whatever happened. It started being hush hush, but I know, we did support it. And then, as many cases do, it fades in the night. So some of them, I'm sure, get resolved behind the closed scenes. And we no longer hear about it. So,
Linda, I'm sorry.
We had another issue about a young kid that was going to school, and unfortunately, the first officer responded really well, so forth, and then the other officer came in street clothes, tells the kids to go back to school. Kids still playing around. The other kids start walking away. I don't know why this officer goes after the guy. And it was also on TV a while back. He swings the kid around and stuff, and start doing, certain things, and locks him up and so forth. But the reason, the question that I had was this kid supposed to be in school at that particular time? Because, they all have different schedules. The other thing is you can't force somebody to go to school, is what I'm learning. And then the third thing, the kid was walking away. Why did you come up to him? He was doing what you said to do. So these are things that y'all don't hear about.
Danita, Linda, any thoughts on the case of Davon Dabbs, young man who was charged with murder?
I don't have any particular thoughts on that at this time. I just wanted to say that if both of these issues, 2 more versus 4 more, make it to the make it to the referendum, to the ballot, or if it's only 1, if it's 2 more, guess what? I feel so strongly that what has been proposed and the map that has been made a requirement be attached to it, that I would advise African Americans to vote against 2 more. Yeah, after all these years of asking for expansion, I'm saying it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous. It takes away so much of what we've earned.
I'd like to ask all three of you, what do you think Ella White Campbell would say right now?
Oh, man.
What would she say? Well, she was my church member.
No, I'm asking you, what would Ella White Campbell say
Go
right
for
now?
the 4 more. Do the right
Absolutely.
thing.
That's
Do
right.
the right thing. Stand.
Get rid of the map.
funds,
Yeah.
Get rid of the map and go for the 4 more.
Not only that, Donnie, Ella White Campbell will pull all these elected officials together.
Yes,
all
the
of
state
them.
ones and local.
All of them together.
What's stopping us from doing that now?
Well,
Well,
this
I mean,
is here's what's so shocking. At the meeting we had the other night, there was 1 or 2 state level people that intervened to say they were against this map and what Izzy had done, but they were Caucasian. They weren't our black state elected officials.
Exactly.
Are you telling me that Adrian Jones, you have the most powerful person in the House of Delegates representing the 10th Legislative District, Adrian Jones. Adrian Jones, Senator Ben Brooks. Who else you got out there?
You got Scott Phillips. You got Jennifer White.
Jennifer White. Are you telling me that those people were not at this meeting?
No.
Hold up. Are you serious?
You could also submit something in writing. You could have also submitted something in writing.
Oh my God! Submit something in writing. This after all of the work you.
It's historic. Everybody should have been there.
Yeah.
Lottie Dottie and
everybody. They up there when these other people are trying to become governor, county executive, all of these. Are you telling me nobody showed up?
No.
Charles Sidnor.
No. But I guarantee you, when voting time comes, they want us to show up and show out.
I'm sorry, y'all talk a lot, not y'all, but y'all talk, Baltimore County talk a lot of smack about Baltimore City. Remember I was out there, what's her name? The lady, Vicky Allman. We don't want Baltimore County to be like Baltimore City. Whoa. I don't know what she was talking about. I was telling her that y'all got as many drug dealers out there as we got in the city, but let's push that aside. Are you telling me y'all don't fight out there?
Well, all we can tell you is the truth. It's all been recorded. Who was there was there. Who wasn't there was not there.
That's right.
And it's just that simple, Donnie. And this is a big, huge fight too, Donnie. A big, huge fight.
And I'm continuing to fight for 4 more. I was out at the concert at the Pikesville Jazz at the Armory. We were out there collecting another 60 names last night. I'm going to be, for all those that want to sign the petition, I'm going to be at Foundry Road.
Apparently signing the petition don't mean much if nobody's going to stand up. And I can't believe you don't have more names.
We need more names.
One black elected official, Danita. Not one. I'm looking at who you said. None. You said Pat Young gave a tearful plea on behalf of the people. Is Bishop going to come in?
It was nothing. I tell you, what Pat Young did. Pat Young was
and then Izzy said no.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had,
you
like I said,
never be county executive without my support.
Right. He had 3 Republicans and 2 Democrats to make it a majority. Unfortunately, Julian wasn't there. And
What do you mean he wasn't there?
He wasn't there.
He wasn't there. He actually tried to do an amendment or bring something forth, and they wouldn't even let him speak. They voted.
Because it was submitted too late in the day.
Yeah.
Right.
What is this self-sabotage? Listen, you guys are our most upwardly mobile black people in the area. If you're telling me you are politically sterile, then I don't know what to say.
Donnie, you're looking at the ones right here. We are the ones who are out here, boots on the ground. We're the ones. And
y'all got to give an all-night disco on the corner of Liberty and Old Court and do the TikTok and make people aware, or you got to buy a billboard. I mean,
no, but that's what I'm saying. We have been letting people. That's why I'm mentioning it. I mean, don't poo-poo it.
Maybe you got to get some.
We are getting signatures everywhere we go. We're going to be getting signatures every day for the next 2.5 weeks.
Pat Young,
but I will tell you, I believe in being truthful and full disclosure. I will say that Senator Charles Sidnor did give me some signatures twice in the last week. Okay. And he did open up his church And that's important. We went around to about 12 or 15 different churches, black churches, okay? He
all of them churches out there.
No, let me tell you, one of the largest churches in Randallstown is attended by one of our elected officials.
New Antioch.
They won't let us in.
Yeah.
They won't let us in.
This is from Julian Jones, councilman. He said, I was on an airplane, and despite the promises of the airline and all my efforts, I could not log on. My absence is a no vote. The only thing that matters is positive vote. The big issue is not where was I, but how Izzy Patoka sold the Democratic Party.
He said that.
And all the Democrats have Baltimore County down the river by passing a bill with a heavily jury that was prepared by the Republicans to benefit the Republicans for years and elections to come. And so let's get this gentleman and Bishop. I need you to stop what you're doing, Bishop.
Okay.
Bishop.
Donnie. Yep, I'm here.
I'm so upset.
Okay, can you bring all of this together?
Okay.
What's
I can speak on this issue, Donnie. Well, what's happening is basically the deal that Izzy Patoka made with the Republicans was something that was one of the most awful things that could have ever happened in the political landscape of Baltimore County. Yeah. So at this point, the question is the Democratic Party going to sanction Izzy Patoka for doing that? I mean, the problem is that there's never any accountability when stuff happens in the Democratic Party. They just kind of sit on the sideline and just decide who they're going to, do something to it or not. And that's got to stop too. I mean, if we're going to be a party, then we gotta support the party, not get into a situation where because we want to come out and try to be the hero and make a backwards deal like they made. The issue is that we just got to press on and make sure that we got enough signatures to get it on the ballot and try to knock out this thing that Izzy got passed at the Baltimore County Council. So I mean, the war is on.
Hey Bishop, this is the second part.
What do you say, Donnie?
Bishop, here's the second part from Julian Jones.
Yeah.
He says, I have consistently railed against that map. They should not have even been a map at all, but the map was necessary for the Republicans to vote.
True.
Any betrayal to the Democrats of Baltimore County, Izzy allowed them to produce such a map and brought it forward.
Here's the thing. Ask Julian just one thing. Do you now support 4 more? Because there's only 2 options now. There's no 0 more option anymore. So there's only 2 or 4. That's the only 2 options on the table now.
All right, I'll wait for his response.
That's it.
That is it.
This is how you do it. Danita.
Yes.
What's up? Where's that other NAACP group?
Oh, my.
You had to do it.
Hey, Johnny, he's about to start a fight now.
He don't return my calls.
To be part of our steering committee.
He's too good to talk to us on this station. You always come, so I gotta call him out.
Thank you, and I will always continue to stand up and come. As you know, Baltimore County NAACP always out there. We have reached out multiple times to Randallstown NAACP to invite them to sit at the table. They either have not shown up, haven't responded, or just ignored our invitations.
It seems like he's a media hog.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. And I say that because if the TV camera isn't there, then the black press, we don't get to hear from Ryan. What's it, Ryan Coleman?
Ryan Coleman, that's him. Yes. And the thing about it, George has been trying to get a coalition together or to work with Baltimore County and Randallstown NAACP to make one. We only need one.
Exactly. And in fact, they are, even the national we have reached out to the national NAACP to get them involved. So as you know, this week I'll be flying out to the national convention, so we'll be meeting with them again about this.
You know, back in the day, we in Baltimore, we had the Goon Squad. You know what the Goon Squad did? They take Ryan and you out back and have a little conversation. You know what I mean? They come to a mutual agreement. You know,
we've tried that.
Well, all I know is this.
I can tell you.
Before you make a phone call to like Black Stevie and say,
"Yeah,
take him
I'm
from
open."
somewhere else.
Anybody that knows me, I'm open. I'll come to the table. I'll have a seat at the table. He just needs to come.
Yeah, Baltimore County NAACP and the Randallstown NAACP are both supposed to be part of the steering committee for Vote for More. The ones who have consistently helped us out, even through last week, this week, right now, is the Baltimore County NAACP. The other folks have been MIA. You hear me?
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it.
Don't return calls.
That's right. That's right. But the other person I have to give my kudos to is Bishop Barry Chapman.
Yes.
This is a man that doesn't just talk the talk. He walks the walk. He said, look,
why don't you vote for Bishop to be the next elected official out there?
You know, sometimes it takes real money and effort and involvement and interest above and beyond to make something this big happen. And he said, I'm willing to be that person.
Bishop, they tell me the word on the street is you put up $27,000 to help us out.
I don't know about that. No.
And plus, before
I didn't put up 27,000. I think it's around. I think it's around 7 or 8. I stopped counting. You got to ask Linda how much I put in there. I don't really know. I just give it up when I get it in.
7.
There you go. Yeah, but you know what we got to do, guys?
No, I don't know what the amount is. I got to talk to my accountant and talk to Linda.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I'm continually gonna feel that fight. I can tell you that much.
Yeah. On a ballot issue committee, they don't have the same restrictions about the top number you can give. So a person can continue giving more money. There are several people who have contributed over the years. Certainly I've put in my share of my money and my brother has too, but definitely Bishop has put in a huge percentage of the money that has fueled us. And I will forever be grateful for that because it takes money to keep something going this long. And we haven't even gotten to the part where once we put it on the ballot, then we have to market it. Mm-hmm. We have to let people know about it.
Danny, where are the young people on your committee?
Exactly.
You know, and sometimes people, you know, these young folks, they have an issue sometimes with the person that sponsored things, that's behind these petitions and stuff like that.
Okay, but Danny, voting demographic is changing. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at Danita. I'm looking at Linda. I'm looking at Bishop. I'm looking at myself. We're all at least 50. Where are the young people? Who are you lifting up to carry the ball? Because even with this news outlet, I better pass the ball to somebody younger than me because I'm most likely to clock out before they do. So who are we trusting in the next generation?
Well, I will say the Baltimore County NAACP, we are starting youth chapters and councils at the high schools. So far we have one. We're in the process of doing another one, but this is our legacy. And I want to make sure we have these youth, you know, being mentored. You know,
and they're very enthusiastic. I went to one of the
they've done YouTube videos. If you look them up for Juneteenth, they've done a youth video for the Pikesville High. Just very outgoing voting registration. They're very active in the community, our youth for our branch. So I'm very excited about that. So I think we are on the right track with passing on that legacy stick.
Okay. So any final thoughts before we get out of here?
I want to give Bishop let's all wish Bishop a happy birthday. His birthday was yesterday. But we want to just say happy birthday to Bishop.
Happy birthday.
Because he is one deserving brother. He's a good brother. And I tell you, man, I love him like a brother. So he's a great guy. So we just want to wish him a happy birthday.
Oh, did you say we were going to sing it?
I didn't.
Happy birthday.
So thank all of y'all. I appreciate it.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. But you know what, Donnie? We all have to come.
Thank you. My
final word is that we all need to come together. In these last months, this is June. No, this is July, August, September, October.
We sure did.
November. We all need to come together in this last push for 4 more. We all need to come together. All the elected officials need to come together. And we really need to get together and meet and talk strategy about supporting 4 more and getting as many signatures as we can to make sure that 4 more is on that ballot.
Come out tonight to Owens Mills, right on Ricestown Road to Foundry Road, and look for us. We'll have on our 4 more shirts. Sign the petition. Go next Wednesday back out to Pikesville Armory, Jazz in the Armory. All these things are free. Come over, sign the petition. We're trying to work out other arrangements where we can be at a different mall.
Hey, Linda, you need to get some party promoters. I mean, we as a people are real good. Do you need some party promoters? Because you got, what's Sister's Place? What do they call it now?
Yeah, they got City View. Oh, no. I don't know what that's called. What's it called? I don't know. But I know they got City View.
The name. I don't know what the name is.
I'm hoping that places like Diamonds Inn
Linda, if you keep doing the same thing, you'll keep getting the same results. We got to do something different. If Ella White Campbell was here today, I think she would tell y'all, stop pussyfooting and get to the grind. Make it happen. I don't care what you got to do. Maybe you got to get up in somebody's face and pull them by the top and say, hey, what are you doing? And you got to write. We as a people got to write. You got to write all that.
I did all that.
You got to write. You got to write some letters to the. You got Be More News. You got the Northwest Voice, and you got the other mainstream outlets. We got to write letters. You are the most upwardly mobile Black people in the area. You've got power. You've got power. You go to church. You call on the transformational power of Jesus the Christ, and we acting weak.
Yeah, it's pretty. The call has been out there though, Donnie, for real.
It has.
And the call hasn't been
louder.
Hasn't been. It's louder now. I tell you, it's loudest it has ever been. Right now, it's hot. So hopefully, we'll come together. That's what I was just trying to make a point because it's hot.
That's when you know you have enemies because you are hot.
Yep.
That's when you know you have enemies because you have made it really hot. And so now what we're trying to do is just, play by the rules because we don't want anybody to use an excuse to get rid of us, but play by the rules to do everything that we need to do. But yeah, there's like
Kumbaya, my Lord.
Look, I'm late to this dance, but I'm here now.
So I would say
no, not that. But
I will say
we shall overcome.
That's right.
You might get some DMX in it. What you really want? What you really want?
Exactly.
Get some DMX up in you, Linda. They pulling out the whoa.
So right now, I think what we need to do is probably meet and come up with some strategies.
We do. You know what?
Come up with some strategies. What are the top strategies that we need to do? And meet as a group first, real quick. Do it quickly. It doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out meeting, and then start implementing it quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Harriet Tubman told me tell you, 11 o'clock tonight, Liberty and Old Court, be there or be square. That's how you got to do it. And you got to have that Colt 45 to put it right in their face. Are you with us or not?
All right, Bishop.
Power to the people.
I love it.
Oh, there it is. See that down there? Where are the fraternities and sororities? All of these politicians belong to one. Get them involved. And I tell you, man,
to them multiple times. They all pledged support. They
Write
said
a
they
letter.
were going to get all them. No, I actually met with them. They
Write an
all said they
article.
were going to get people to all do 5 sheets apiece. None of them did that.
can you hear that, Donnie?
Where you from? Linda, where you from?
Where am I from? I'm
Where
from Baltimore.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Forest Park.
Okay, see, I'm from North Avenue. Somebody would have got banged in the mouth by now. Win or lose, they'd have got punched in the mouth. And I'm not saying be violent, but I'm saying all of this kumbaya, we shall overcome someday. Jesus loves me. I mean, come on, man. What you really want? You may get some DMX in your voice, Linda. Power to the people. Good morning, world.
Thanks for the invite, Donnie.
Thank you, Val.